In London?
I'm not sure why she's so nervous to say what she means. What do you mean?
He's dangerous. And he should not be. He is the donkey that is leading the lions.
I'm unclear, Chair, what is meant by the question. If you could spell it out, I can answer.
I've just spelt it out.
This guy is failing society's most vulnerable. He should be removed.
Can she be clear what she means by that? I'm not clear what she means.
How much clearer do you want me to be?
Oh, man. The Met Police is doing that. It's doing that and that. My name's John Wedger. I'm a retired Metropolitan Police detective. I specialised in child abuse investigations, and I'm more sort of well known or come to prominence for my role as a whistleblower for my part in speaking out about the police's and government's deliberate cover-up of what I will term child prostitution. I went, after leaving the Metropolitan Police's Vice Unit where I dealt with child prostitution, where I'd actually uncovered kids there on an industrial scale from the age of 9 to 14 that were being trafficked for prostitution. They were being sold in crack houses in the mornings. They'll be swapped for 9, 10 cracks, rocks of crack apiece. From there, they'll be taken to hotels that did a rental by an hour. And usually the people that would go in there to have sex with the children were builders that were away from home, that were working in central London. After that, the kids would then be taken to upmarket Arab restaurants in Mayfair, around the Curzon Street area, where they would be traded for as much as £2,000 each. And that was happening on a daily basis. This was circa 2004 to 2007, when I submitted intelligence reports of what was going on. I was threatened by a senior officer for Scotland Yard telling me that if I ever mentioned what I'd uncovered, I would lose my home, my job and my children. I would be thrown to the wolves, and it must not and will not ever get out. If it does, it will. The Metropolitan Police, past, present and future, it will never ever get out. After that, I left that unit. That case had 36 young children that were all subject to care orders that were, like I said, from the age of 9 to 14 that were being pimped out. Every single one was harbouring a Class A drug addiction, and many had life-threatening diseases relating to their lifestyle, such as HIV, AIDS, hepatitis C, and contagious tuberculosis. Right? Nothing was being done to help these kids. Social services were fully aware of it. The police were aware of it, and I had documented evidence that the Metropolitan Police's dedicated Vice Unit that was set up to deal with juveniles at risk of prostitution had known about this scenario for the past 15 years and had done nothing. One of the homes, if I can find it, I just found it a minute ago, it had this one here. I spoke to a guy in there called Andre. He was the manager of the home. I said, how many kids you got? He said 6. I said, and how many do you lose at the weekend to prostitution? And out of the 6, he said 5. Social services knew about it. The police's missing persons knew about it. Nothing was ever done about it. Nothing was ever done. One of the boys that was involved, he was in such advanced stages of AIDS, a young boy in his very, very early teens, subject to a care order, placed into a care home for his own safety. He was being picked up and he was being pimped out. This boy was so sick, he sometimes had to be carried into a car, an awaiting car, to be taken off to be pimped out. And he had open sores in his, relevant areas. And as far as I'm aware, he died shortly after his name was provided. Within 10 minutes, I'd found 10 children. 10 children that were being pimped out. Children under the age of 16. Children vulnerable to start with that were placed into care. By the end of the 3rd day of doing this, I found 52 children. 52. I held a meeting with all concerned agencies, so NGOs, social services, well-known charities, children's charities, well-known ones.
I emphasize again, it is free to join my community. The stock.
And I invited along the Missing Persons Unit. I invited along the Clubs and Vice Unit. And I invited along other child protection units. Only the Missing Persons Unit turned up. And during that meeting, I was threatened by the head of child safeguarding for a major children's charity that I am treading on toes and I'm not to pursue this any further. Initially, when I spoke out when I was on the Vice Unit, to my knowledge, there was no